They don't fail at the end. They don't fail when the money runs out, when the doors close, when the world says no. That's not where failure begins. That's just where it becomes visible. The real failure, the quiet, invisible collapse, happens long before the first step is ever taken. It happens in the mind. It happens in that silent moment when an idea is born, raw, electric, full of possibility, and instead of being protected, it is questioned, doubted, suffocated. It happens when a dream is treated like a risk instead of a calling, when the voice inside whispers, "What if I can?" and the world screams back, "Who do you think you are?" And without even realizing it, most people surrender right there, not because they lack talent, not because they lack opportunity, but because they lack belief. And belief is everything. Before a single empire was built, before a single invention changed the course of history, before a single name became legendary, there was belief. A fragile, irrational, almost delusional belief that something greater was possible. A belief that defied logic, ignored doubt, and refused to bow to reality as it was. Because reality, as it is, has never been enough for those who shape the future. Think about it. Every towering achievement that now feels inevitable once looked impossible. Every success story that seems obvious in hindsight was once laughed at, dismissed, even ridiculed. The difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck is not intelligence, it is not luck, it is not even opportunity. It is the decision to believe before there is evidence. Most people wait. They wait for certainty. They wait for approval. They wait for the perfect moment when fear disappears and confidence takes over. But that moment never comes. It doesn't exist. And so they stay where they are, safe, predictable, and slowly fading into a life they never truly chose. But there are others. Others who understand that belief is not something you find, it is something you create, something you build piece by piece in the absence of proof. They understand that the mind is not just a passive observer of reality, it is the architect of it. And once you truly understand that, everything changes. Because the battlefield is no longer out there, it's in here. It's in the thoughts you entertain when no one is watching. It's in the conversations you have with yourself when things get hard. It's in the stories you repeat so often that they become your truth. I'm not ready. I don't have what it takes. People like me don't succeed. These are not facts. They are decisions. Decisions disguised as thoughts, and every time you accept them without question, you are casting a vote for the life you do not want. But here's the truth that most people never confront. Your mind will lie to you to keep you safe. It will magnify fear, exaggerate risk, and shrink your potential, all in the name of protection. Because to the mind, unfamiliar means dangerous. Growth feels like a threat, change feels like loss, and so it will do everything in its power to pull you back into what is known, what is comfortable, what is certain, even if what is certain is mediocrity. That is why so many people fail before they even begin, not because they can't win, but because they never truly allow themselves to try. They flirt with the idea of greatness, but they commit to the comfort of average. They talk about dreams, but they act on doubts. They admire success, but they identify with failure. And identity is the most powerful force in your life. Because you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your identity. If deep down you see yourself as someone who hesitates, someone who plays small, someone who avoids risk, then no matter how big your ambitions are, your actions will always pull you back to match that identity. So the real question is not what do you want? The real question is who do you believe you are? Because everything you do, every choice, every action, every moment of courage or hesitation is simply an expression of that belief. If you see yourself as ordinary, you will act ordinary. If you see yourself as limited, you will live limited. If you see yourself as someone waiting for permission, you will spend your life waiting. But if, just for a moment, you begin to see yourself differently, If you begin to see yourself as someone who creates instead of consumes, someone who leads instead of follows, someone who acts in spite of fear instead of because of confidence, then something shifts. Not overnight, not magically, but fundamentally. Because belief rewires behavior, and behavior repeated over time becomes destiny. This is where clarity is born, not from overthinking, not from endless planning, but from decision. A decision to stop negotiating with your fears, a decision to stop outsourcing your worth to the opinions of others, a decision to draw a line in the sand and say, "This is who I am now." Clarity is not found, it is declared. And once declared, it demands alignment. It demands that your actions reflect your intentions, that your habits reflect your standards, that every daily choices reflect the future you claim to want. This is where most people hesitate again, because clarity brings responsibility. It removes excuses. It exposes the gap between who you are and who you say you want to become. And that gap is uncomfortable. It is filled with discipline. It is filled with sacrifice. It is filled with the quiet, unglamorous work that no one applauds. But this is the price, not of success, but of transformation. Because you cannot become someone new while clinging to who you used to be. You cannot build a different life with the same mindset, the same habits, the same patterns that created the one you're trying to escape. Something has to change. And that something is you.